Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to my videos. So now we are in the video 2 for chapter 6 and I will explain the third theory for this video, which is Purchasing Power Parity Theory, PPP. This theory basically discusses the relationship between inflation rates and future change in the spot rate. The PPP theory explains the currencies with higher inflation rates should depreciate relatively to currencies with lower inflation rate. So this relationship can be modeled into the following equation: 1 plus inflation at home of home currency divided by 1 plus inflation rate of foreign currency equals to the future spot rate divided by the spot rate. Okay, this is the indicator for the formula. So if you see the difference between PPP and IFE, for IFE we choose the nominal interest rate, but in the PPP we use the expected inflation. Looks like similar, but actually it's different. In other words, the percentage change in the spot rate at time t should be approximately equal to the difference in inflation between the countries. Okay, referring to our example, how much should ringgit value of Singapore dollar change in order to equalize the Malaysia price of goods in the two countries? Okay, by using the similar example, we have Malaysia and Singapore for interest rate, inflation rate, the spot rate as follows, and the solution. Okay, let's substitute all the information here to the formula. So here we want to find the expected or the future spot rate. So ET equals to 1 plus expected inflation at home currency divided by 1 plus expected inflation of foreign currency times the spot rate. So after we calculate here, we can find the value of expected or the future spot rate is 2.8565, meaning that the Malaysian ringgit has appreciated in value. And now we find the percentage of change required. So the future spot rate minus the spot rate divided by spot rate times 100% in order to find the percentage of change. Okay, how many percent of the currency appreciate or depreciate. So when we substitute into the formula, the answer would be negative 4.46%. What does it mean by 4.46%? It means that Singapore dollar needs to depreciate by 4.46%. Since Malaysia inflation is higher, 5% higher than Malaysia, it means that Singapore needs to depreciate by 4.46%. Why depreciate? Because the value is negative. So that Singapore dollar need to depreciate by 4.46 against Malaysia ringgit to reflect changes in the price level. Another method to calculate the percentage of change required is percentage change required equals to expected inflation of home currency of home country minus expected inflation of foreign country divided by 1 plus expected inflation of foreign country times 100%. So here 0.07 minus 0.12 divided by 1.12 times 100%. So you will get negative 4.46%, approximately to 5%. To find ET, the future spot rate, you have to use this formula. Expected inflation rate equals to the spot rate times 1 plus percentage change in exchange rate. So here, to find ET, the spot rate is 2.990 times 1 minus 0.0446. Here, you change to decimal place, which is negative 0.0446. And you have to minus. If the value is positive, you have to plus. Okay, since this value is negative, so you have to minus 1 minus 0.0446. So the answer would be 2.8566. Okay, the same answer as before. So you have two ways to calculate the spot rate and also the percentage change required. Before this, you find the ET first and then you calculate the percentage change required. And for this method, you have to find the percentage of change required first and then you find the future spot rate. The answer would be the same. Okay, let's try this. If the inflation is 5% in US and 3% in Singapore, how much should the US dollar value of Singapore dollar change in order to equalize the USD price of goods in the two countries? Okay, let's calculate. Let's substitute all the information into the formula. First, we have to find the percentage of change required, expected inflation rate at home currency minus expected inflation rate of foreign currency divided by 1 plus expected inflation of foreign currency times 100%. So after you calculate here, you will get the answer is negative 4.46%. Next, let's try this. Assume that spot exchange rate of GBP is 5.5600. Okay, this one is the spot rate. How much would the spot rate adjust according to purchase power parity if UK experiences an inflation rate of 5%? Okay, so this one, inflation at foreign currency. While Malaysia experiences an inflation of 3.5. So this one is inflation at home currency. Find the equilibrium spot rate. So here they want to find ET. This one is E0. Okay, to find the percentage of change required, expected of home currency minus expected of foreign currency divided by 1 plus expected inflation of foreign currency times 100%. So here 0.035 minus 0.5 times divided by 1.05 times 100%, you will get negative 1.43%, meaning GBP will depreciate by 1.43%. And the new spot rate, this one is ET, equals to E0 times 1 minus percentage. Okay, so since percentage is negative value, so you have to minus. And the new spot rate is 5.4806. Okay, so here you see here the inflation rate at foreign currency 5% and in Malaysia is lower than, meaning that the currency, the Malaysia ringgit, will appreciate. See, UK has higher inflation, therefore GBP will depreciate and Malaysia ringgit will appreciate. Okay, that is the relationship between inflation and also the currency. It depends on the currency will appreciate and depreciate depends on the inflation rate. Okay, something more about PPP. PPP doesn't hold all the time. Previous studies have found that PPP holds in the long run rather than in the short run. Several reasons contribute to this factor. Among of them are assumption made under PPP theory is that there are no trade barriers. Okay, trade barriers such as tariff, quota, embargo, and also no transportation costs. But in the real world, trade barriers and transportation costs do exist. Okay, the second reason is distortions in the price in different countries are due to tax imposed, meaning that there is a trade barriers. Intense competitions may cause price to vary. Okay, so here is about the PPP. And now let's move to the last theory, which is interest rate parity theory, IRP. What this theory states. Okay, interest rate parity theory is a theory in which the interest rate differential, okay, interest rate differential between two countries is equal to the differential between the forward exchange rate and the spot exchange rate. Okay, can you see the difference between this theory and the previous theories? Okay, interest rate differential between two countries is equal to the differential between forward exchange and spot exchange rate. So here, interest rate parity plays an essential role in foreign exchange market, connecting interest rate, spot exchange rates, and foreign exchange rates. Okay, let's look at the formula for forward discount or premium. Okay, interest rate of home currency minus interest rate of foreign currency. Here, traders try to make profit by borrowing and investing simultaneously in two different countries or two different currencies if the theory is not held. Okay, the trader will borrow in one country and invest in one country simultaneously. Okay, by using the following example. Okay, similar example. So we calculate first the forward discount or premium. Interest at home currency minus interest at foreign currency is 10% minus 15%. Okay, forward discount or premium is the similar formula in chapter 4. Let's recall back how to get the forward discount or premium. Okay, forward rate minus spot rate divided by spot rate times 360 divided by n. N is the numbers of forward days times 100% equals to 10 minus 15%. So let's calculate forward premium. We get negative 5%, and also the differentials of interest rate is negative 5%. Okay, can you see this? The difference of interest rate equals to the forward discount or the difference of the forward rate and the spot rate. Meaning that the parity condition exists. What does it mean? Investing and borrowing simultaneously in these two countries will not give any opportunity for the trader to make profit, since the rate, these two rates are equal. Okay, so if the trader borrow in Malaysia and invest in Singapore, or borrow in Singapore and invest in Malaysia, doesn't give them any profit. Okay, because at the end of the day, either borrowing from any of these two countries will cost the trader the same exact amount of earnings from the investment made in the other country. Okay, so parity condition exists. Arbitrages cannot make profit. Okay, but if there is disequilibrium. Okay, before this, we have negative 5% equals to negative 5%. Cannot make profit. But if there is a disequilibrium, for example, negative 3% and negative 5%, so the covered interest arbitrage would exist. Okay, CIA, covered interest arbitrage. Okay, for this, a covered interest arbitrage would exist if the parity assumption is violated. How does it work? Let's look at. Actually, the notion behind covered interest arbitrage is for the trader to borrow in one country that offers lower interest rate and invest in a country that offer higher interest rate. At the same time, the trader will protect his position from the variability exchange rate by entering into a forward contract. Okay, by violating the assumption, let's look at the illustration below to explain the CIA. Okay, let's look at the example. Mr. Ali can borrow or lend, or in other words is invest. Okay, Ali can borrow or invest GBP 10 million and the bank provides the following data. USD interest rate is 8% per annum. GBP interest rate, UK interest rate is 12% per annum. Spot rate is 1.6 US dollar per GBP and 1 year forward rate is 1.53 US dollar per GBP. The question is, determine whether CIA opportunity exists, and if the firm takes the arbitrage opportunity on the interest rate and exchange rate differences, find much would the firm's profit be in USD. Okay, let's calculate how we calculate the CIA. First, you have to test or you have to identify whether CIA exists or not. How to do it? Let's do it together. Okay, to determine whether CIA opportunity exists, and if it does exist, then decide where to invest and borrow. Okay, these are the following steps. The first step is to determine whether there is covered interest arbitrage. How to know, how to determine? You have to calculate the differential of the forward rate, or you have to find the forward premium and the interest, the differentials of interest rate. So there must be disequilibrium, meaning that forward premium or forward discount does not equal to the interest rate differential. Let's calculate the example. Forward rate, forward price minus spot price divided by spot price time 360 divided by forward days, which is 1 year forward. So 360. Okay, this is the info, and times 100%, and then interest at home is 8% and interest at foreign is 12%. So when we calculate and we substitute all the values into the formula, so the answer must be negative 4.375 for forward discount, and the interest rate differential is negative 4. So here there is a disequilibrium here, meaning that CIA opportunity exists. Okay. Then we have to identify which country we need to borrow and to invest. So for this part, we have to calculate 1 plus interest at home currency equals to 1 plus interest at foreign currency times forward divided by spot rate. Okay, forward rate divided by spot rate. Okay, so this one. And I plus I, 1 plus I at home currency 1.08. And when you substitute the values into the formula, you will get 1.071. So here you get the value. So we can determine where to borrow, whether US or UK, and where to invest, whether US and UK or UK. So bear in mind this value just to indicate the indicate where to borrow and to invest. Therefore, borrow in foreign country at 12% and invest at home country at 8%. Why? Because this one is lower. So we will borrow at the lower rate and invest at the higher rate. So here the foreign country is UK. So we borrow in UK and invest in US. But you have to remember to calculate the interest rate, we still use this interest rate, not this interest rate. Okay. Okay, let's do it. Because of arbitrage exists and we already know where to borrow and where to invest. Now, Ali has 10 million. Okay, Mr. Ali has 10 million. Okay, today, borrow 10 million GBP at 12%. Okay, so we have 3 columns here. This one is the description and the USD and GBP. When you borrow GBP, so we add 10 million GBP here. And then now we need to borrow, and we want to invest in home currency. So you have to convert this value into USD. So we negative, okay, we minus 10 million because 10 million GBP already go to US dollar. So we convert GBP into US dollar at spot rate 1.6 per GBP. So GBP 10 million times USD 1.6. Here USD is 16 million. And then we invest in US. So you have to minus negative 16. Why? Because the money already go to US. Okay. Negative 1 year later. Okay, this one is today. And 1 year later, what happened? Receive investment plus return in US. How much is the return? 8%. So how to calculate 16 million times 1.08? So you will get the USD 17.28 million. Okay, so you get the return in US dollar. But you have to remember, you need to pay to the UK because you borrow in UK. So we have to convert this USD to GBP. Buy GBP at forward rate to pay loan. So here USD, you have to convert USD to GBP. So here you have to divide it 17.28 million divided by 1.53. So you will get 11.294 117 million. So here because of money goes to UK, so we have to minus US dollar. And then this one, when you convert USD to GBP, you have to remember you have to pay back to the UK. So pay loan and interest at 12%. How much that you will pay? 10 million times 1.12, you will get negative 11.2 million. How much is the profit in GBP? So you minus here, you will get 94,117.64, okay, in GBP. Okay, hence riskless profit made from this arbitrage opportunity is 144,000 US dollar. Okay, you can change, you can convert back to the US dollar, but it depends on the question. If the question didn't ask you to convert in USD, so just remain the GBP. Okay, let's look at another exercise. Okay, the question below are several economic data related to Malaysia and Japan. So we have spot rate 3.7810 per 100 yen, and 1 year forward rate is 3.92 per 100 yen. And the annual interest rate in Malaysia is 10.5% and Japan 8%. The question is, based on the above information and interest rate parity condition, show how an investor can profit from covered interest arbitrage CIA opportunity. And the second one, determine how much is his profit in RM. Okay, the question clearly asks you in RM. So the answer, the final answer would be in Malaysia ringgit. If he has 5 million or 500 million yen to start with. Okay, why the question gives two value? It refers where to invest. If you invest in Japan, so you have to use this value, and if you invest in Malaysia or borrow in Malaysia, you have to use this value. Okay, let's do it together. First step is you have to test whether CIE exists or not for this situation. So to determine where to borrow and to invest, you have to find 1 plus I HC equals to 1 plus I FC times forward rate divided by spot rate. So 1.105 equals to 1.08 times 3.92 divided by 3.78. So you will get 1.105 for home currency, and at foreign country you get 1.1197. So how to choose? You have to borrow at the lower interest rate and invest in higher interest rate. So when comparing these two value, you have to borrow in Malaysia. Okay, borrow Malaysia and invest in Japan. Okay, so let's do the calculation. Borrow 5 million in Malaysia. Okay, because we borrow in Malaysia, so we use this formula. Okay, borrow 5 million in Malaysia at 10.5%. So positive value in RM, 5 million. Okay, and then because of we need to invest in yen, so you have to convert this currency into yen. So here, convert RM into yen at spot rate is 3.7810. Okay, because of 100 yen, so be careful when you convert the value. Let's recall back the chapter 4, how to convert the currency. RM 5 million divided by 3.78 times 100 yen. Okay, so here you have to minus 5,000 because, sorry, 5 million because the value goes to yen. So the calculation, when you do the calculation, you will get 132.24 million. Okay, and then this yen, you invest in Japan at 8%. And you invest for 1 year. After 1 year, okay, 1 year later, you will receive the investment plus return. So the return 132,240 times 1.08 because 8% here in Japan. The return is 8%. So you will get 142,819,360. And you have to convert back to Malaysia ringgit to pay the loan in Malaysia. From this, you have to minus this to convert Malaysia ringgit. How to convert? Yen, Japanese yen times RM 3.92 per divided by 100. So you will get 5.5 million. And you have to pay the loan with interest of 10%. So 5 million times 1.105. You convert to decimal place. So 1 plus interest rate 1.105. You will get 5.525 million. And you have to minus what you get from the investment to you have to pay back the loan. You will get the profit 73,000. Okay, so that will answer your question. It gives you 10 marks for this question. Okay, I hope you will understand. Please do it again to understand the process. Remember, let me repeat. Remember, first you have to know whether CIA exists or not. So you have to find you have to calculate the difference of spot rate and forward rate, and also the difference of interest rate. And if the values does not equal, so CIA exists, and then you have to determine where to borrow and to invest. So you have to use this formula, okay, to determine which country you have to borrow and invest. And when you get the value, you will choose the lower interest rate to borrow and the higher interest rate to invest. And then you will use this process to calculate how much the profit that you will get at the end of the investment. Okay, I think that's all. And for the tutorial, please do this question. June 2016, December 2019. Okay, for this question, interest rate given are per annum, but the forward rates are 6-month forward rate. Therefore, interest rate must be divided by 2. And the borrowing and investment made for 6 months, not 1 year. Okay, be careful with this question. Okay, the tricky skate. And June 2019. And that's all. We have finished for chapter 6. And I will see you in tutorial class to discuss this question. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye bye.